Most of the questions are about Devon Laletin and Denis Siplenkov. So this part 11 of Arm Wrestling Q&A series is for sure going to be an interesting one. Let's start with the first one. Before that, please like the video if you haven't already. Who would win right now in your opinion on the right arm, Denis or Georgi? Both completely dominated a lesser version of Morozov, but who would win in a fight between them? That's an interesting question. You have Georgi as the favorite. For me, it's really difficult to say because beating Denis Siplenkov again and again with the top roll, it may be possible as of now. I think I kind of do agree with you. If that match happens today, maybe Georgi Swetkov is the favorite because Georgi has never lost his wrist on the right arm ever, period. So Denis Siplenkov is also going to face a difficult time trying to crack that wrist back. But if Denis hits King's move and open arm top roll, I'm not sure if Georgi has ever faced that kind of opponent before, and his own wrist may be in danger for the first time. And beating Denis without a press commitment multiple times in a row may be difficult. If we judge by the practice pull between Zaur and Denis, if that Denis shows up against Georgi, I think Georgi is going to crack him all day long. So if that match happens today, yeah, maybe Georgi, I do agree, but Denis is an endurance monster. Give him a month or two, I think he should beat Georgi easy in my opinion. After that, we have Devon versus Oleg Zaur, one of my favorite questions. So I just took the screenshot of the questions, didn't prepare anything or have any bullet points written. Totally impromptu Q&A series. Devon versus Oleg is still pending from 2018. Do you think Oleg can fully recover and will we ever get to see that match? I don't think he's going to be at his peak shape again because he's been arm wrestling for 2 years already and it looks like his level has slightly increased, but he was already winning the World Championship the first time he competed and Ukrainian Championship the first time he competed, and I don't think he's at the level of super heavyweights right now. So for the new viewers, the basic story is that before that Denis Siplenkov versus Devon match, Oleg Zaur challenged Devon Laletin for $10,000 from his own money for a left arm super match. Oleg was not happy with the result because, let's be honest, at that time Oleg was only 20 years old and still he almost pinned Devon. It was a pin, but the down ref saw an elbow foul at the same time. It looked like a pin, but then Devon put him in a hook and beat him 3 times in a row. Before that, Oleg won 2-3 categories. Not saying that he got slowed down by anyone. He just dominated everyone within a second. But still, he competed in like 10 plus matches before that. And he still almost pinned Devon Laletin while he was only 20 years old. At that time, he was never able to beat Pushkar. Till 2018, it was that time when Oleg started getting pins over Andrei Pushkar as well. He was constantly beating him in all of the competitions. So that was peak prime version of Oleg, and if that match happened at that time, 2018, when Devon's left wasn't the best, self-admittedly by Devon, I think Oleg would have cracked Devon easy that day because 23-year-old Oleg Zaur, and after that, like 26-year-old Oleg, 20 versus 26-year-old Oleg, I think completely different animal, and Devon would have been in big trouble. That match didn't happen. I don't think Oleg will be strong enough right now to beat Devon or in the near future. In recent Engin's video, Devon said that he will train every single day until November 11th. Do you think that Devon is scared of Denis' potential? Scared? Difficult question, but you're not really scared of your opponent, but there is always a fear of loss. Nobody wants to lose at the high level. So the fear of loss is something that creates a fear inside arm wrestlers, which motivates them to train even harder. So in my opinion, it's a good thing even if Devon is scared of losing against Denis. Is he scared of Denis? Maybe not. I don't think so. He's really fired up. He's going to train every single day because that left arm loss taught him more than anything else, and he wouldn't want a right arm loss as well because he has already learned what Denis is going to teach him. So that's the most important match for Devon, probably the match after Laletin. the second match after Levant, the most important one. Who do you think Zaur will face in his first East versus West match? I hope it is Hermes Gasparini. If Hermes was the winner of Devon versus Hermes match, then he would have been way too high for Zaur to have this opening super match. But right now, since Hermes also lost, I think Zaur versus Hermes may make sense. Are there any Indian arm wrestlers that you believe have the ability to be a threat for top 10 super heavyweight in the world? No, a big no. I don't think, at least in the next 5 years. Maybe at WAF level, but at the elite professional level, for sure, no. Number one in any weight class. Now that may be a possibility in next 5 years. That may be a possibility in the lightweights. But let's see who is the first guy. For sure, it will happen one day or another, but we'll have to wait for a few years. What are your top 5 current super heavyweight arm wrestlers? That's a difficult question, brother. I should have prepared more for this. Let's try. Levant Saginashvili. Is Devon ahead of Gennady? In my personal opinion, ranking system doesn't really work like that. If you just beat one guy, you're automatically above all of them. I don't think it should be like that. If we consider kind of a point-based system, I'm not sure if Devon should be ahead of Gennady or Gennady should be ahead of Devon. But then Hermes has beaten Gennady, Jerry has beaten Gennady. So difficult question. I'm not capable enough of doing top 5 rankings as of now. Sorry. Which arm wrestler best genetics? So I'm doing about 15-16 questions in this one because for almost a month I didn't do any Q&A series. Best genetics has to be Levant Saginashvili. Guy is like 180 kilos and looking at the size of his wrist and forearm, the thickness, the pronation, I think he has to be the one. Or the Denis that weighed 140 plus kilograms. With that much of trash talk, do you think Devon can create a do or die situation for himself? That's a good thing. The commander burning all of the ships so that they have to conquer the island. They cannot return back. It can be a good situation, and Devon wouldn't have much to prove except for the Levant Saginashvili match. We have to understand Devon has done everything in his career. Before this, he never had any win over elite level European super heavyweight. He did beat Prudnik, but he was not a super heavyweight. Now he has beaten Hermes Gasparini, who was interim number 1 in the world and also a super heavyweight. So that spot is removed from Devon Laletin's glorious career. Now he has only one thing to achieve, and that is Levant Saginashvili. Yeah, beating Denis will also be great, but let's just assume that Devon beats Denis and then he beats Levant as well somehow in the April rematch. If that happens, then he wouldn't have much to prove. So I think he can create a do or die situation for himself because there is only a couple of things left for him to achieve. Your thoughts about Denis recent practice pull with Morozov? Yeah, at first Denis dominated Morozov last year in King of the Table practice pull. After that, Morozov came back and he himself said in an interview that he was surprised that he was able to beat Denis in practice pulls. Now Morozov is away from his peak once again, and Denis has started his peak for Devon Laletin. So now once again Denis has started beating Artem Morozov. So these two can be a good match in the future. Next year, Morozov versus Denis can also be a good match. As of now, Denis is ahead of Morozov for sure. How do you compare Denis and Devon endurance? Outside, I think Devon will have better endurance than Denis because even the third round against Jon, Denis struggled just a little bit when he went sideways. And after just one single round with Devon, Jon was completely gassed out. So Devon's endurance in the outside game is superior than Denis. If they decide to go inside, I think Devon is the one who is going to get gassed out. Who is Interzy and his role in arm wrestling? Interzy is a legend of the sport. For sure, top 10 greatest of all times in terms of arm wrestling capabilities. Maybe even top 5. It can be close in my opinion. And the best promoter as of now. The elite level super matches. And what is his role? So yeah, his role is to grow the sport of arm wrestling, which so far he has been doing a really great job at. Jon Brzink versus Bacho. When I asked you this 2 months ago, you said Jon would win easily. What about now? It's interesting. I was looking forward to answering this question in my own mind even before reading this, and I was waiting for the Ongarbayev versus Bacho Saginashvili match. That would have cleared a lot of doubt. People were saying that Bacho's hook, we saw that a hook is Bacho's weakness on the left. They were saying that it's not on the right. His hook is insane on the right. I would have loved to see that match. Still cannot answer this question. Based off his left arm performance, I think Jon will beat him on the right arm if his right is similar. And maybe I'll do a live stream today to discuss why Bacho, Krasi and Ongarbayev didn't compete. I asked those guys and both have replied except Ongarbayev. Live commentary for East versus West. Why you don't get any copyright? I think you meant to say videos, because one pick of the match, how can you use picture in live commentary? So on live commentary, I'm not using any pictures, and during on videos, yes, I also do get strikes. Then I send them email. Sometimes Jayford, the guy who gives strikes, sometimes he listens, sometimes he doesn't. Then I talk with Don Idris, then he asks Jayford to remove the strikes. So not that I'm not getting the strikes, I'm just getting them removed, and one of them is still not removed. Do you think after Devon, Denis is the most popular arm wrestler? Yes, I do think so. All of the videos, yes, Denis Siplenkov videos are usually very well recorded and well edited compared to Devon videos. That's why they are getting more views. But almost all of the times, Denis Siplenkov videos are getting more views than Devon, except for the super viral videos that get like 4 or 5 million views. Is Devon really scared of Vitaly? Why he always ignores him? Yeah, he himself said that he's scared of Vitaly. So maybe, but the fear is good. Because Devon's weakness, just like Hermes, is a tall arm top roller. Alex Cordecha, Matt Mask, Prudnik and Sandres beats Matt easier than Devon does. Why? Because of the longer forearm of Matt. Vitaly, practice pull, troubles for Devon. But in the straps, I think if Devon is able to get to the straps, he should beat Vitaly comfortably after that. If Denis won, what next for him? And if Devon won, who should he fight? Ongarbayev. So Denis, man, that's a good question. If Denis wins, then I think Levan Saginashvili is the next match for him. And in between that, maybe even Hermes Gasparini if Levan doesn't come back till then. And if Devon won, should he fight Ongarbayev? Yes, if Devon won, he should fight, and he will fight Ongarbayev because he wants all 3 titles. If he loses, then he should face Vitaly Laletin. So that was the Q&A. Thank you guys for watching this. Please like the video, subscribe, and I hope you are enjoying this Q&A series. I'm going to see you again in the next video.